Well, yeah, welcome to the Raw SOS Podcast. We're getting fucked up.
Do you like Wes's sign he got up?
Yeah. Well, I think that should be a sign that is more synonymous through more establishments through Australia these days. So if you think back to you remember 80s films where the cocaine dealers are really quintessential. They're South American. They wear a white suit.
Yeah. Proper cartel, yeah.
Yeah. They have some sort of exotic pet, But now these days it's just a guy in the pokey room going, man, I'll just be back in a sec.
Hey, that's a fucking great intro, Wes.
Episode. How are you, Adam? Welcome back. I fucked that up again. Welcome to another episode of the Raw SOS Podcast. How you going, Adam?
All right. Fucking haven't left the studio for 2 days.
I know, you've been strapped down, fucking changing. Anyway, we've got a special guest on today, Roscoe, Pagey Train podcast, fucking absolute local legend. He's joining us today. How are you, mate?
How you going out there? Hello, guys. Hey. Oh, it's good to fucking be here.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on board, bro. It's
unreal. Anyway, we always start the show with a shot.
Oh, look, fantastic. Well, to this studio, man. It's going to toast this studio. This fucking studio rocks, bro.
It's called the asbestos shed.
The asbestos shed. Well, it sounds safe, so,
Cheers, mate.
Asbestos.
So we got on the sheepdog. By the sounds of it, it's the hair of a dog for you, mate. You had a big night last night.
Dude, I had a very big night last night. No, big shout out to the Made in the West film crew.
Yeah.
And our affiliates, Luke, that are out there, like Bina, Alex, Luke, Misty, Jay, Faraz, man. We're all out. We have what we call grievance night.
Yeah.
So the media industry can really kick in the ball sometimes. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah.
But there is. There's so many corners of how you can get fucked. But we have this. It's kind of like Festivus. Like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Where you got to grieve your grievances.
Yeah.
Well, we have what we call a rage against the machine. So we all go out drinking, and one person who has the biggest grievance starts the proceedings of grievances.
Yeah, right.
So how you've been screwed over in the last quarter by the media industry, you all got to show up with something to bitch about.
Well, we got a segment on this episode called "Chucking It in the Fuck It Bucket."
Chuck it in the fucking bucket.
So what is Made in the West? What do you do there?
Oh well, yeah. Look, Made in the West started out as a film festival. It's still is a film festival.
Yep.
15 years ago, we started in a dilapidated cinema in Parramatta.
Yeah, right.
Now we've got a joint venture with Event Cinemas in Liverpool. 15 years later.
That's
just
fucking
incredible.
awesome, eh? That's unreal.
Yeah, look, our reach is just phenomenal, man. It's just something that's just blowing up. We just wanted to show some movies and represent Western Sydney and its culture and what it's getting up to. There's so many artists in Western Sydney, man.
Yeah.
So many people doing so many things, from drill rap to bloody music videos to podcasts to, just
Such a creative, from, say, west, from, say, we're from Blacktown back to Parramatta, back up to the Blue Mountains, And that's where I'm in Blue Mountains, and it's now I've moved up there. But I love it because I'm in a creative hub, and it's fucking great. And it's good that you've set that the festival up, because it gives people, artists and stuff, filmmakers and that, a chance to get out there and
they're like-minded people, right? So so if you want to succeed in the arts, right, you've got to surround yourself by people who are doing it. Like doing bands, right? What you do is you surround yourself with musicians.
Yeah, exactly.
So filmmakers, well, what should you do?
Same as podcasting, get other podcasters on and, you know.
Oh, totally, man. I'm checking out your show, man. You guys are blowing up, man. This is fucking mad.
I don't know if you've seen that, the post we had on TikTok that fucking, it's nearly like.
Oh, was that the spider one? Yeah.
It's 500,000 views.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah.
Well, we borrowed someone else's video.
Well, I find podcasting is an interesting art, right? Because when you start doing it, you know, when you're in a pub and you're having an interesting conversation with a mate, and you go, man, we should do our own show. You know? We should, like, we have so much to talk about. And then you go through the process of building a show, and you start doing it, and you realise, there's more to it than there's the art of conversation. Like, you know, we're all locked in here. There's no escape. There's no one who's going to interrupt us for a light. There's no one that's going to go, whose shout is it, right? Like, it's literally just us guys here locked in, right?
There's no punch-ons. Sometimes there is between me and Ian.
No, but you got to riff it a bit, right? It's kind of like surfing a wave of consciousness being on a podcast.
Yeah, right.
You know, you really are. Because you're going, man, what are we going to talk about today? You go, I don't know, man. We'll just see where it goes. Or you might have a segment where you're going, we're going to do this and that. But
it never goes that way.
No.
We're just like, we go like this, and it goes down in the fucking dark hole.
Well, last night, like, we didn't really have any notes written down to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same today. We're just going, we'd like to just make it randomly happen. And
just wing it.
Talk, you know. And I had notes last night, like
last night, but we didn't read any of them.
Yeah, well, no, episode 30, I went through a lot of notes, but we did cover some of the stuff. But Wes and I just have this, like, we just go out on a whim, and because we're brothers and we've grown up, you know, in the Western Sydney in Penrith and all that, we've got all these old stories and things, and that's kind of the catalyst that took us up to where we are now with it, you know.
Yeah, but it's about a bit of authenticity, right? Just being yourself on a show. So, like, interviewing people, when you interview people, because I don't know how many interviews I've done in my life now, probably about 500. Yeah. You know, where it's, because I've done a lot, you know, TV interviews where you're interviewing an artist like, you know, bands or, you know, up and comers, that sort of thing. And then doing my own podcast, I've done like 160 episodes there. You know, you just find a myriad of different people you interview.
Yeah.
Some people you got to really sort of like pull it out of him, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, just give me something.
That's why I said, Adam, just let him talk. He's done this 1,000 times, bro. Just let him talk today.
Oh, dude, man, you put a microphone in front of me, you just about to shut me up. Like, look, I was doing karaoke last night, you know, even like from the crew from Maine, the West. We went back to my place. We did karaoke for 3 hours, man. Like, my whole life revolves around being on a microphone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But
loud and proud, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
At least your vocals have warmed up now, you know.
Oh, dude.
To go.
Well, that's the other thing that I was doing. I got into this sort of work was doing voiceovers, man. You know?
That's awesome. Yeah,
I even just started building characters, man. I used to do I even got it on TV, right? So I do like movie intros. You know, the American movie guy, you know, one man, one desire. you know.
That's fucking
They were on the Raw SOS Podcast and the mob wanted in.
That's a new ad for us, man.
You know, I love doing that. And then I had Aussie Ocker, so you know, lean into the Aussie Ocker, you know, coming up next on Television Sydney. You know, you really just do these big draws, right? But yeah, just working with a mic, doing I've done farming equipment. I've done that one. Like, you know, this is how you operate a tractor. I've done like service manuals and stuff like that. But you know, working with your voice is fun. And when you're in a pub and you want to start a podcast, you just got to realise that there is the art of conversation.
Yeah, that's it. You got to be able to continue it on. You know,
that's throw a ball around. You've got to throw this ball around, and you don't know where the ball's going to go.
Yeah,
you don't know what a guest is going to do. You don't know what the host is going to do.
It's pretty much every episode for us. We never know what we're going to do.
Well, what's your most standout episode for you so far?
Well, we did interview Isaac McCullum.
I said McCullum from Australian Idol. Yeah,
Where's never get his name right?
I fucked his name. Isaac McCullum.
On his, you fucked it on the intro. Yeah, I hate it when you fuck it on the intro, bro.
So we,
I'm terrible with that.
So we got Isaac from Australian Idol, and that was pretty good. And then also on the same weekend, we went down to the Wombat Brewery and done a little interview with those guys, and we got a bit of a tour of the
so you take your show on the road.
This is all mobile, so
we just take it up and we can go anywhere with it.
That's mad.
So Wes often comes up the mountains and we do a show from my joint. And, but we've travelled over to we've gone down the south coast. We've gone to
Bilpin. We're at the mate's house at Bilpin. He's got a granny flat there. We just set up there and
cool.
So we can just pack it up and go. All right, we're going to your place. We're going to
so we're getting really good at setting all this shit up.
It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Like just like even for I do like a 2-camera shoot, and just the video cables alone gets up to. I think I'm up to like 16 out of the back of a monitor into a recorder into a switcher. So you're just running this dual signal all through this gear to capture and record
amount
and
of
mix
cables and stuff, and you just go fuck. But
it's complicated chain.
Yeah, but we're getting used to it. We're really starting to streamline. I remember like sometimes we just set up, it'd take us 3 hours to get everything set up.
Just need to get the internet thing plugged in, and then I'm going to run a cable all the way into the house because we can't get Wi-Fi out here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's great. Yeah, there's plenty of shit to do before we
the good thing is, like, as I went to uni, this has been a great initiative. Like, Wes came up with the idea of the podcast, but it was good because I was putting all the skills for all the film courses and shit.
The production side of things and how to do your capture, how to do your edits and your post production.
Yeah, so we just mixed our skills there, and
I didn't have any. Mine's just drinking, fucking being a funny cunt on the podcast.
Well, speaking of drinking, throw us another beer over.
Throw us another one. Throw us another beer.
Yeah, right.
I packed my one up, but I got a cart. So I've actually set it up so it all goes into a cart.
So you can like streamline it and that. And just
I can be a solo operation. I can just put it in my car, rock up, do a 2-camera, 3-camera deployment. And then run a vision switcher, and then publish to the internet live.
Fuck yeah!
I can just rock up and do that. So that's pretty much how I bankroll my podcast. Is I do streaming services in order to pay for the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I don't know, like, as part of doing the podcast that I like, I've had I found myself being a bit of a prima donna sometimes because someone said, we want to do this on your podcast. They go, well, I say what happens on my fucking podcast, man. Like, there's so many things that we do, right? Like, Made in the West, you can say something to me about Made in the West. I go, yeah, totally, we'll do that because everyone kind of owns it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the podcast I find is going, no, it's got my name on it, man. That's fucking mine.
The amount of shit we talk about. At the start, he was real bit shy and a bit nervous about it. And I've got no filter. I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. And Adam was like, we can't say that. So a lot of the first episodes were a bit jittery.
A bit green.
Yeah, they were just a bit jumpy with the edit because he's like, I can't take that out, I can't take that out. Now we just like fucking release it.
You go through that stage, right? Being overly critical.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you've got skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
And that's the fear. You've got skin in the game. You go, if I say something stupid on here, this could be a problem.
Yeah.
But really, if you're just authentic and you're just you're just curious about how things work and you just want them to have a laugh, you should be right.
I've always said we're only one court case away from 1 million followers. Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, true. That's true, man. Like, that's what the disruptors are, right? They're rule breakers. Podcasting itself is a disruptive media.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because originally it was all just radio stations. They own the market now. Now everyone every white boy,
you go and spend a couple of grand and you got all this shit. And
what's it saying? The white boy's saying every white boy's got a podcast.
Another white boy with a podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to start a podcast? Let's go.
Well, see, there's in the podcast, there's 5 million podcasters out there at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Now globally, when I started out, there was 900,000.
Yeah, it's changed.
And when I started out, it was blowing up, right? So I was starting to see like kits that you could buy from media suppliers places like camera stores, that sort of thing. Like DJ City, that sort of shit. They would supply kits to do a podcast, but then after that, it just went fucking bananas, man.
I think it's sort of around around COVID and stuff as well. That was one of the things I think. That everyone's stuck at home. Like, let's get creative. Like, fuck, we've got all these hours and days to do shit. So people started doing it, like podcasting just started going like nuts.
On the online stuff that we got done for Made in the West during COVID was phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
because we were doing live events, right? So you'll have 300 people in the venue to come and watch these movies, and then we're running a live event. You know that the whole thing is based on bums on a seat. And you go, if we have 2 years of not doing that, we're going to lose our brand. We're going to lose the last 10 years of fucking work that we've done.
Crazy,
So what we did was we war gamed it. So if there was a lockdown, we had an online festival version that we ran through a Zoom call that we operated just like it was live. but with Zoom throws.
Yeah.
So we built that, but we were lucky enough to dodge lockdown. So we got to do the show, and then we have the online festival as well. But after post-COVID, we didn't ditch the online festival. So now we've got this local event that's sells out every year.
Yeah.
And then we get to take that content and I put it into a TV format and I make it global and sell tickets to that. So you can go to the event for free, but if you want to watch it online, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, right. Zoom fucking. Yeah. Zoom,
but that's because of the crisis.
Yeah. But Zoom made a fucking mint that company. I know when they.
Dude, I made a mint off Zoom, dude. Because no one, because you know me, I'm a techie, bro. No one knew how to fucking use Zoom at all when it all started, right? So. We were doing like video production in TV studios and doing like on-set production, but then people still needed those services, but in the form of a Zoom call. And we were managing Zoom calls in the background for corporate, so they would have like a CEO talking and then doing a conference on Zoom, and we just managed that. And we're charging the same fee as if we rocked up and filmed a bloody thing. So our overhead was zero, man. That was mad. Like. I know, and I feel. Don't get me wrong. I feel terrible for people that didn't do well through COVID financially. Of course, it fucked a lot of people. Yeah. So I'm not. Let's not forget about those people. But as the little, we're just the little guy, right? Yeah. As the little guy, we were like, man, the big monster's going to eat us. Yeah. Right? They're going to eat us alive, and everyone's going to watch and see it. We're going to be, witness to a brilliant murder. But no, what happened was we pivoted out of that. And we were agile enough and brave enough to take some risk. Yeah. And then we didn't just like survive it. We tripled inside and thrived. Yeah.
So with the I've seen that you were on a feature film. Is that? I want to hear about that.
Oh, dude, that was a mad story. Big shout out, obviously to Maria Tran and to Takashi. Great filmmakers. You might know Maria from such films such as, sorry, a bit of Troy McClure there.
You might remember me from such films.
Well, she was in Last King of the Cross. So she was the main. She was the Vietnamese drug dealer in the first season.
Oh yeah.
A big shout out to David Hoy, who's also an actor and person that's been at Made in the West. He's in the second season of that. But she also
actors, not the real drug dealers.
No, the actors. No, they're.
Just to clarify, that.
I know them personally. I can assure you that they are definitely actors.
I know the other one, the real one.
But she did. Also did Fat Pizza things in that sort of space, right? Cool, yeah. And she's done. She's a trained action star. So she's done a whole bunch of stuff in Hong Kong and a whole bunch of come through action flicks. Anyway, so this goes to Made in the West, right? So I don't know if I had her hosting that year. I got her to host one year because it's good to have a bit of celebrityship in there. Yeah. And no, she was just a normal interviewee. So this one year at Made in the West, there's always something goes wrong technically in your life, right? Especially doing media. Yeah. Our producer forgot to push the record button.
Oh, where's this done that plenty of times?
On the audio. We got all the vision.
No audio.
No audio. We only had the camera mic audio, right? So it's unusable for broadcast, right? So I had everyone come in and do, what ADR is? After dialogue recording.
Yeah. Right.
So like if you shoot a film and they're in the rain, you have to get the actor to come back because you need to separate the sound of the rain from their voice.
Yeah, right.
So if you EQ their voice, the rain goes up with them.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to do an after dialogue recording. So they put their face on the screen and they get them to act their role and line again.
Yeah.
Right. So I had every interviewee from my flagship clip that needed an audio track come into my studio and do an ADR on a live interview.
Yeah. Right.
So imagine that we're having this conversation now. And we didn't record it, but I've got the vision for it. And I ask you to come back, read a script on screen and say what you just said to me the same way you just said it.
Oh, nah.
So it's hard work, right?
That would be fucked.
Dude, I had a guy from Fox. I showed him this clip, right? And I goes, what's wrong with this clip? He goes, I can't tell anything wrong with that clip. I said, the entire sound base of that is fake. Yeah. The voice is ADR, the cocktail in the background is all sound design. He goes, you sound engineered a live event package? Because no one's ever done that. I've never heard anyone doing that. I go, maybe no one ever has done that. But anyway, just to give you the context, right? So Maria had to come around and do this ADR for me. And she sees in my studio, it's pretty funky. There's like weapons and like nunchucks and bloody swords and fucking shit everywhere. She goes, "Can you do any of this sort of stuff?" I go,
All
yeah.
props. They're all props.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, all props.
They're real.
They're all props and blunt, not even real
He
blades.
picked it up from the Vietnamese drug dealer.
Yeah, that's
They're all inert.
All props.
No, but she convinces me to do a film, right? Because I go, but I'm used to being behind the camera. I don't get in front of the camera. I might be like background actor, like a goon.
Yeah.
That knocks, hired goons, knock on the door and sort of just hop in. But no, she convinced me to do the main antagonist.
Wow.
So I was like, I had to do a fighting scene with her. I go, I've never done a fighting scene in a film before, Marie. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. She goes, you'll be right, Ross. You're agile enough. You'll be fine. I go, so I go do the film with her. It was an amazing experience.
I've seen I did see a few of the clips when you were training to do the fighting.
What's the film called?
Well, that one was called Operation Kung Flu, and that was about a racist white guy that was kidnapping Asian people and experimenting with COVID on them. Yeah, and I'm the last boss. So she goes through and she kicks all the henchman's ass, and I'm at the end with my.
Is it on there?
You'll see you can pull up the trailer for Operation Kung Flu. So I did that film with her like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and it played at Made in the West. It played in LA. It played, I think it did it did places around Southeast Asia. It played all over the world. This clip, right?
Yeah,
and it had a few 100,000 views on different streaming services. Yeah, and I've seen it appear and reappear. So she's selling it and reselling it all the time. It's actually even featured at
Is that which one? Is that one there?
Yeah, the one on the left.
That's
it.
Here?
Yeah, that's her.
I don't
Maria
think you're
Train,
getting any. Hold on, signal through that.
Yeah, that's the one. Play that one. I did the VO for this as well. Operation Kung Flu. I think I'll do the VO for this, I think. Might be this one. Here it comes.
In a world where attacks on Asians are on the rise.
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
Racism is learned.
Go back to where you came from, you
Kung Flu is incredibly contagious.
Welcome to the year 2021. Accounts of assaults, verbal harassment, hate speech, bullying, and discrimination have been numerous all over the world.
There have been several reports of missing persons.
I was having lunch
Yeah,
at
that's
the main
Takashi.
fishbowl house.
He's got the virus. Get out of here. One day, I got this letter.
Corona bat balls.
It's one of the virus carriers.
I think that's the last thing I remember.
Your mission in Australia is to find and rescue the missing persons.
A single female Asian cock has woken from her cryogenic pod to unleash her inner fire.
It's crazy, yeah. Maria Train's awesome, dude.
And find the missing Asians
There we go.
and seek justice.
Grab her. Hired goons.
You are a racist.
I love Asian.
Check out the handlebars.
I was serving in there.
Yeah, I was going for like a Chopper Reed / Steven Seagal.
We are not a virus.
Yeah, so that's the first flick that I did with her.
Operation
Action superstar Maria Tran, Takashi Hara, Joy Hopwood, Gabby Chan, Joe June, Quinn Chung, and introducing Ross Page, guest appearance by Sarah Chang and Chris Payne.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Operation
Dude, if you see it online, I recommend watching it. It is fucking hilarious.
Operation Kung Flu.
Yeah. So this is all obviously off the back of COVID, and man. So that's the first flick that I did with her, and she really took bent my arm into it because I'm like, nah, I don't know about it, and I did it, and I go, man, I really found the relationship between a director and an actor because I've directed a lot of people doing performance, but being on the other side of it. It really opened my eyes to how similar it is because it's about achieving performance.
Yeah.
It's just one is through the different optic. One's the mechanic and one's the guide.
Yeah.
And they're both doing the same thing. I found that really profound. I never thought that connection would exist. But, yeah, so I learned a lot out of it and then doing fight scenes, man. And then fast forward 2 years later. So that played all around the world, did really well. And We even sold it for Made in the West. We had it as we have a Made in the West Presents that we do in the a core stadium.
Yeah.
When you go get a hot dog, there's all these screens around.
Yeah.
Well, we put Made in the West content on all those screens.
Oh, that's awesome.
right.
Yeah.
All the artists, everyone that you see there getting featured as a film, they get paid.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome,
if their movie's on there, they got a cut.
Yeah, wow.
that's
Yeah.
good,
So we make sure the artist gets paid. It's one of our. I know this sounds crazy in the modern era. It is because you work and you probably if you're doing some work, it's going to involve a transaction of getting paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the artists are looked at it as like, oh, that's not a real job. That's not,
Yeah.
You did that for the exposure or the glory or.
But that happens in the music industry a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many gigs have you done that you don't get paid for?
Oh,
Like,
no, it's fucking shits me.
How bad do you want this?
it's like, what's that? Putting $5,000 worth of music equipment into a $500 car, driving fucking 3 hours to do a gig, getting paid nothing.
Yeah. You won't even get your fuel back. You won't
I was speaking of music. You played in a few bands.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I did. I've done a few. Yeah. Up in Queensland, over in Perth, and in New South Wales. But
what was your that band? It was a metal band that.
All metal bands.
Yeah,
all of them metal.
All metal. Yeah.
What was it? Medusa or something?
Mendoza.
Mendoza. I said Medusa.
Yeah, Mendoza.
I was close.
Well, it's cool because it's a Simpsons reference, right?
Yeah.
So in that Simpsons, he goes Mendoza, right? So we would do a show, and we would immediately get like this rock welcome of Mendoza. So, I did an interesting show with that one once with that band. I was in a lineup that included all bands that had a reference to the Simpsons in their band name. So I was on with Molman, Flanders, and fucking Mendoza played on the same fucking bill, man. Like,
that's awesome.
That's how fucking weird the universe is, yeah. And different bands as well, like punk and like because I always like to put it when I put a bill up, I would always try to do something different along the bill. So I even put in a rap act, right? Because then you bring different people to the venue. So if you just put on the same bands of the same ilk. Yeah. All the girlfriends will show up, and the ones that are real long-term girlfriends will be way at the back, not paying any attention at all. And there'll be like two diehard, metalheads that are just fucked up in the pokies and are just trying to hang out and find themselves again. And that's pretty much your audience, yeah. So yeah, it can be harsh, but no, I loved everything. I recommend to any young person join a band.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot about the humility of performing. You'll learn how to be a business operator. You'll learn how to be a promoter, a social media promoter, a marketer, a lawyer.
It's crazy.
And then being in a relationship with 4 other dudes, like, fucking probably the hardest part.
Well, I think that's the thing that I miss the most about being in a lot of bands that I've been in is the men's shed side of it, man.
Yeah, camaraderie.
Yeah, because like we'd go to practice for 6 hours, but we didn't play for 6 hours. We might have played for 4 hours, but we would have chatted for 2.
Yeah.
You know, and as you go through life, you get married, people have kids. You know, you advance through your life. And like, you know, most of us are just floating through it thinking that we know everything, but really none of us know fucking anything. And like sometimes you go, I don't know about this thing. You go, dude, that's totally normal. No one knows about that thing. You go, oh, thank fuck, man. I thought I was weird because I didn't know. And yeah, that can come to anyone, whether they're a parent, a husband, or a son, a brother.
It's good though. Being in a band is that kind of escape thing, and it's like in a podcast way as well as. There's a similar thing too.
Totally is, yeah.
We have this little escapism kind of thing set up, and it's it's good. It's just that creative side, and then band. You've got that whole connection. Your band, you do it, and you sort of form the band, and then you start doing shows, and you're traveling and doing all sorts
of shows is great,
crazy shit. But like as I said when I was on your podcast, like a few years ago,
it's about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, it's fucking flying.
Fucking time flies, bro.
But yeah, like I said. How it's just, I talked about the music industry and all that kind of stuff, on there, and it's just. Well,
we're long in the tooth with this sort of stuff, Adam. Like we got a lot to say about the industry, and I know where you're sort of getting at is like the trials and tribulations, like even from the point where the Pokies like stole our spot, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, the Pokies nicked where the band used to be, and if you look at the marble pillars out the front of the local pub and wonder how they paid for those, that's how they did that. Yeah. Right, so money has taken precedence over entertainment in a pub, and a pub is a word for public house.
Yeah.
The public house is offering as a casino, Doesn't feel. I think it changes it
Which
from.
is owned by, most of them are owned by a fucking grocery store.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it changes. But you know what I'm saying? I think it changes the dynamic of what a public house is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place where it has a bar that serves you beer, that has a place to sit, and might have a counter meal and a place to socialise.
Yeah.
A poker room is not a social place.
Yeah, no.
All the screens are facing one direction so that you're all in a line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's very, very much a casino.
No, the band, the Rumjacks, those fellas like were all from like Western Sydney and stuff, and they permanently live over in Europe now and stuff. And they had a song called Fistful of Roses.
Yeah.
And they used all the old school footage of like they played. I must have got allowed into maybe the old Hope Town when it shut down and whatever else. But
yeah.
They got up and they played this song and it was showing the old 6 o'clock swill and the whole like how good the Aussie culture is, you know.
Yeah.
And in the pub, the whole what was like the old Aussie culture.
Well, it's still there. It's just not represented, though.
Yeah.
I think it's still there. It's just not represented, and it's been corporatized. That's what's really happened. Even looking at, see, if you look at like bands from the 80s up until the 90s, you could live as even a part-time worker and a part-time musician and get by.
Yeah.
You could rent a house and you probably get a place on your own. Yeah. Or just about. It'd be a shitty one-bedroom, but you could do it.
Yeah, well, there was like venues that would
try to do that now. You just fuck off.
No. You can't even buy a house like a small house in Penrith for like $1 million now. Like it'd be over $1 million.
If you're $200,000 a year, you still can't afford to buy a fucking house.
Yeah. Well, if you can wrestle with the fact of using discarded fucking pizza boxes as a supply of cheese and live in the back of your car with your fucking acoustic guitar with the most dents it's ever fucking received in its life, and then you get seen by a producer while you're busking on the corner on a fucking Martin Place,
as the same,
you just might make it.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for artists now just to put a video up on bloody TikTok and get 1 million views.
Wes calls it TikTok.
TikTok, and it's just easier platform for them. They're not going out. They can go and get that, and then straight away someone will discover them. And it'll be on for them, But like. When back in the day, you put all your shit in the car. I used to be in a band as well. I played drums, but we'd fucking gigging all the time. But you ended up getting paid shit. But the internet wasn't a thing. That wasn't happening when I was doing it.
Well, it was more cash on the door back in the day, right?
Yeah. And then there's also have the bar deals and stuff like that.
That was before, in the before time. You could get a cut of the bar. Yeah,
you say, right, well, we've brought 150 people into the venue. We want a percentage of the bar taking.
Yeah. Oh, if you try that on now, I want 5% of your beer sales because we brought a band here that brought 6 bands with us.
Imagine how much money that, like, I know there's excise and the tax and all that kind of shit, but how, like, you go to buy a schooner. I remember when schooners were $2.20. I'm showing me age now.
Oh, dude. It doesn't feel that long ago.
They're $8, fucking $9.
We done a gig with my band over at Tempe, and
the valve.
The valve or the harp? I think
the harp. Oh, it's even before the valve.
So I'm 40. I was 20. So it's 20 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
I played heaps of gigs there.
Anyway, he goes.
Yeah, it's great.
He's writing down, because there was 4 bands playing. He's writing down, what band are you here to see? Ticket off. We had one bloke.
Oh, that's right. You had to then split who came to see your show. I forgot about that shit. Yeah, they did do that. Those
so that
spots.
one, he gave me $5. We got paid $5 for that gig.
Keep it, you fuck.
There was another one. The worst one was at fucking Lewisham.
Yeah.
And we got paid. We got paid.
Live house.
Fucking.
The Live House. I remember Live House.
$4.
They gave you $4.
$4, and then he came back up to me.
What the fuck are they thinking?
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck, I couldn't even afford a schooner." I didn't tell the rest of the boys in the band. I was like, "Fucking," and he came back to me and goes, "Oh, I need my 10% out of that $4."
No,
he asked for his booking fee of 40 cents. I said, "Fuck you."
Do you know what I would have done? I would have said, "Give me my $3.60 back," and I would have, as I was walking out of the fucking pub, I would have rolled it out the front door.
I went, "Mate, you're gonna have to wait till I get changed."
Go and grab the rest of it, you fucking cunt. No, music promoters, I know some of you guys are out there, you're nice, but some of you aren't, and I know you from the past, and you all know who the fuck you are, and you mentioned Live House.
Yeah.
Some of you guys there, the guys at the fucking Venom at the Agincourt, you know who the fuck you are. If you have to put someone by the scruff of the neck to get paid, you know that it's fucking awkward, and people should just do their job and get paid for it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I mean,
it's not hard.
I used to be a promoter, and my main thing was we looked after all the bands. That's why we got the work.
Yeah.
Because we worked with the biggest
and quality.
You
got quality
the biggest
that way.
acts in Australia, and one of the biggest things that the first thing I always do is I would be chasing the venue up. As soon as that money's in the fucking bank account, it's straight to the artist or straight to the agency, Harbour Agency, and whatever else.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
That's why we got a good name, you know.
And that's that's been fair, right? Yeah, it's been fair as you possibly can.
And being a musician, I understand that kind of shit, you know. Like, and it used to piss me off as a local, you know.
Even getting shows like early 2000s to 2010s, getting shows from Lewisham to Broadway. So you'd have the Agincourt, Lewisham Hotel.
Yeah, and Broadway, the old bar Broadway.
Yeah. And then you would even have the Annandale, the Lansdowne. And all of them have their hierarchy, you know.
But it's really hard to kind of cut into. You're going to go through their.
If you don't do promotion through the companies that promote those venues, you don't get a show. So you have to buy their promotion package.
That's fucked.
But that's what I'm saying. It's all geared towards everyone except the artist.
Yeah,
like even the door guy gets more than the lead singer and the lead guitarist. You know what I mean? They get more than the band. Collectively,
fucking
most of the time.
Like Australia, no wonder like all our good talent, like Australian artists and stuff, move overseas. Like they just fuck off. They go. We've got a big. Well, obviously the population's a lot smaller in Australia compared to like Europe and wherever else, you know. But yeah, we lose them all because we got all these. Like, we can't find fucking gigs.
There's no. It's a famine. There's nowhere to feast.
Yeah.
And there can be a place to feast because you look at bands from bygone eras. You've got AC/DC, man. You've got, Midnight Oil, man. There's plenty of bands that are like massive out of that model. We our generation, we've never lived that model.
Nah. You go back to then, and they were doing like but we're doing like 2 gigs a night.
Yeah.
They do 1 gig over here, then pack their shit up and go to the next pub, and they were doing and every night of the week you could go and do it. Not that I was there, but I was too young. But I remember fucking like.
Well, we used to hide our promo from other venues. Because if you were playing within 6 weeks in that grid square, they would say you can't play this bill because you just played.
Yeah, right.
So you go, well. You just have different names for your band and like the amount of dodgy shit we did to get on a bill. Not to the other bands, of course. I mean to the venue and dodgy promoters. But don't get me wrong, there's good promoters out there. Like one of the best experiences I ever had actually was Frankie's Pizza, man.
I fucking love Frankie's Pizza.
Frankie's Pizza is the best.
I tried so hard to get some shows in there. I was trying to get Mercury Rise in there.
Yeah, it's hard work, man. We knocked on that door a lot, but we ended up on a bill. Man, it's fucking mad. They open the curtains for you. They give you a case of beer. They give you a pizza. They pay you that day.
I love that shit.
That day.
That was mad.
And it's a proper check.
Yeah. That's what you want, hey?
Fuck yeah,
it's not
man.
the leftover cheese in the pizza boxes.
Yeah, but we brought the mob. You know?
That's what you gotta
they're
do,
all buying pizza. They're all playing pinball. They're all buying beer, man. Like, fucking knows they paid us.
It's closed down now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got. Did they put a light rail?
Light rail goes through there.
Fucking fuckers.
Literally an arrow through the heart.
Yeah, it is. But they are doing something, Frankie's Pizza. There is.
They're moving inner west.
Yeah, but they also I've seen a few gigs that have been putting on some. I've seen a few not the same venue, but they're reps. They're
branded.
Yeah,
I've seen those.
They've done a few gigs to support the old memories or something. I can't remember. I've seen it on
well, it's kind of like what the Valve was doing. It's a different model though. Valve was based on no pokies, but if you can have control of the door. Yeah. And then if you control the door and you're making commercial, you're making commercial gain, then they get a cut. Yeah. If you don't make a commercial gain, they go, man, thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate your time. I'll see you next time. Yeah, that was it. A big shout out, Greg, if you're listening. Yeah. Greg was mad.
Yeah, because he moved. I think the Valve moved into the Agincourt. Was that in the corner there? That
down in the Benham bar, I think it was. Yeah.
And I remember playing upstairs. And,
I
played. Yeah, it was in my old band, Normal Day. We played with a band called Smash and Grab.
Oh, yep.
And they were full punks. And anyway,
I've heard of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up getting a real bad review from their girlfriend was a journalist for Drum Media.
Oh fuck! Yeah, see,
she goes, she started because we got a keyboard player and she started like saying, "Oh, the one-fingered keyboard player." Fucking Raymond Zuri's from fucking The Doors died out years ago. I think that's how it's saying. We had this fucking really bad review, but I loved it because I was in a punk band.
Hey, dude, you got reviewed, man.
Yeah, we
like,
got.
I don't care if we got a bad review. We got reviewed.
Did I say that keyboard player's last name right?
Ray Manzarek.
Ray Manzarek?
I said Manzuri.
Manzuri, I think it was Manzuri.
I make names up as well.
Ray Manzarek from The Doors. Yeah. We got a bad review in the drum media. We were doing a fucking Battle of the Bands thing. At, I can't remember. It was on Parramatta Road at Concord. And she fucking flogged us, eh? Like, we were just there not getting paid.
Yeah.
And she just like, the guitarist were playing Better by Screaming Jets, and he fucked up the. She's like, it's probably the worst fucking version of that I've ever heard. Blah, blah, blah.
Crucifixion. Another one, crucifixion. Yeah.
And he was like, "I was too little, too late." Blah blah. Blah.
Oh look,
like, fuck you.
I say it's good for you, right? Because it's grounding, right? That sort of shit is grounding. You like everyone gets into like.
He never fucked those notes up again. By the way,
that's right. You get more disciplined, and there's always that moment, especially in music, right? You join a band, you start a band, and you go, "We're going to be rock stars. This is great."
Yeah.
And after a while, you realise, man, there's so many people that are doing this, and it's hard to pierce through. It's hard to become sustainable. Then you've got to question, why do you actually do it?
Yeah.
Are you doing it because you want to be a rock star, or are you doing it for the doing? You actually want to make music and perform. And I think that's where you see bands fold a lot. They go, no, man, I'll just fold here. But if it doesn't fold for that reason, it's always a girl. That's what I say. It's always a girl involved in folding a band.
That always happens.
Sorry, ladies, but it's always a lady.
Yeah.
It was certainly the last two bands.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that happens.
It's more than one though.
it's more than one. Several bands.
Several ladies.
Hey, look, the old saying is now, what happens on the road stays on Facebook. So
except for herpes.
Well, as my wife, as my wife would say, being in a band is having a second girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know,
you're married to 4 or 5 blokes. You know,
that's it. It is a marriage. You got to fall in love, man.
Yeah,
in a band, you got to fall in love. But you go through all of that, and then you hit the industry, and especially in the music industry in the East Coast of Australia, you realise, man, all the doors are locked and they're all guarded, and there's there's no knocking on them.
Yeah.
Right. You have to buy their promotion. You have to buy your way in. It's not what you know; it's who you know.
Yeah.
Unless you are someone that is so sharp and piercing that you're undeniable. You have to be a messiah-like fucking band to do it.
Unless the old Regurgitator song that said, "I sucked a lot of cock together."
Yeah. Totally, dude. They're not wrong. They're not fucking wrong, man. But that's what everything I got from the music industry is when I started in the film industry. All of the negative things that I found in the music industry, I applied as formula to what I do. So my biggest priority is making sure the artist gets paid. If we're getting paid, if we're doing commercial work, artist is involved in that transaction.
Yeah.
And if they go, well, we don't have the money for that, well, that means you don't have the money for that. Because we pay everyone. So this is the fee. If you can't pay that, that means we're out of your budget.
We don't pay very well on the Raw SOS podcast, right?
No, you pay well so far. Jeez, I don't know how many beers down range I've got so far.
We pay fuck all.
Oh, dude. Well, that's why I call it the Pagey Train, right? It's on the Pagey Train, which is the Pagey Train of thought. Yeah. The Pagey Train on the drinks cart on the Pagey Train. But it's never first class, though. It's always just fucking falling out of your seat.
Like, talking about the Pagey Train, that was my first podcast I'd ever been on. I didn't ever think I'd be creating one or being a co-host or whatever. But you're a great man. You're a great host. And
thank you, man.
Yeah,
that's very kind.
I was fucking nervous as fuck. I'm swinging on the chair.
Yeah,
I watched it.
I'm doing the fucking disco dance.
That's like I don't know how many generations ago that is. That's probably 6 generations tech-wise.
Yeah.
Because I was doing post-edit multicam at that point. Now I'm doing live edit.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what you go through. I recommend this to anyone. If you're doing a podcast, what you want is to figure out your duration. So whether you're doing an hour, a couple of hours, like this podcast, imagine you just go into we're good, right?
Yeah, long form. We're doing
form.
pretty much long form. That's how we go.
Yeah, well, I'd say so, or it's a themed podcast. You might be talking about maybe it's true crime, or maybe it's tunnels.
Not another bloody true crime podcast.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the tunnelers, or maybe we need a podcast out there for the guys that do all the tunneling under the fucking. Maybe there is one out there. Maybe I should look it up. Yeah, but
find the niche.
Yeah, there's spaces to do that. But I would say, obviously, if you do an hour, if you do post production on an hour podcast, it's going to take you 4 hours to post production that.
Yeah.
If you do it live, it's your production time is your record time.
All right. So when we come to your podcast, you're going to show us what you do.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's easy bolting, but it's all comes down to Spondula, man. It costs money to upgrade. So what I say to people is, you can easily start. You can now run phones through into OBS, man.
Yeah.
You can run 2 phones into OBS and literally just put them on a selfie stick and do it. You know, you don't even need mics.
Other podcast we went and guested on a few weeks ago. They do that.
How'd that go, Adam?
Oh yeah, no, let's not talk about that. But they were using OBS. That's
OBS.
software. Yeah, the software they use. Yeah,
OBS. You can actually do live broadcast. I've always wanted to do one live.
Yeah.
Because I do it live anyway. Like, I don't edit it.
Yeah.
Like, I might cut the top and tail off it.
Yeah.
But essentially, the body of it and the intro of it is the intro. And the outro is the outro. Yeah. And everything in the middle, that's pretty much there. I very rarely have cut things out.
Yeah.
The only time I've done that is because of intellectual property.
Yeah.
We had a few too many drinks there. That was commercial confidence. I'll take that out for you.
Fucking bit of thunder.
Well, I'm sorry I did that. Maybe I should have left it in.
That wasn't a button, actually.
Yeah, that was Thor just spoke.
Fuck. I felt like he goes, yeah, you're fucking lucky you did that. Just reminding you, fucker.
So what just happened? Thunder just went off in the fucking background.
Thunderstruck.
Because the audio will cut out here. Like, I mean, it'll cut the background noise out or some shit, but
anyway,
I don't think you'll hear it, but that was quite loud. That was quite loud. Yeah, what the fuck was I on about?
Anyway, we'll still go to somewhere. Anyway, more about yourself. Where'd you grow up? You obviously Western Sydney.
Oh, dude, yeah, mad. I grew up Campbelltown.
Campbelltown.
Yeah, Campbelltown, Scrambletown, as they would say. It was an interesting time, man. I think it's all interesting time for all of us, really. But for me, I grew up in a pretty rough place, to be honest with you.
Still a bit rough out there, isn't it?
Yeah, not as rough as it was. I'm sorry, they go, it's rough in Campbelltown. Like, back in my day, you got no fucking idea.
They go, I live in Kingswood, so
no. We'll put it this way: they would say, yeah, exactly. Kingswood. There is the same flavors, right?
Yeah.
But I would say in Campbelltown that they would, even the neighborhood I lived in, there was people that would change the street signs so that people would get lost. And they because you know when you see someone driving lost, this is before GPS days, right? You'd see someone driving lost, and it's obvious that they're lost.
Yeah,
and they go, "Oh, you lost?
Pull the old
can I offer you some help?"
Gregory's out. Pull the Gregory's out.
Yeah. And while as soon as they unwind their window and offer help, they just fucking rob them. So just fucking, it's just insane place to grow up, dude. Like,
fuck,
dude, I've seen houses explode.
Yeah,
I was shot at twice as a teenager.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, but not by a vicious attack or anything. It wasn't like they were aiming for us. They just randomly were shooting at us. You know. Yeah, I had a guy on LSD, man. He was hanging out the window with a rifle, just fucking having a go at people walking by.
Fucking hell.
It's a fucking insane place. Because you can, like, don't get me wrong. See, when I had a bullet hit in front of me, right, and went, I thought someone was throwing rocks at me. That's kind of often happens there as well.
Yeah.
Because people throw a rock at you and they want to take your shit, right? They're either going to try and nick your shoes or nick the lunch you just bought, right? It's a rough place, man.
Yeah, fuck.
But the thing is that there's a time where you get you fit into the pecking order and the hierarchy of society. And they go, oh, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, you're a part of this tribe. You're a part of this community. Outsiders, though, man, get a Rolodex because, like, those signs can fuck you up, man. It's literally a bear trap driving in there. Police wouldn't go in there.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
What's that sub? What is that sub?
Eds.
That's what
yes.
Isn't Spaniard? Is it Spaniard?
Spaniard.
Oh, I say I'm fucking
I don't mind Spaniard, actually.
Yeah, I heard he's mad.
Yeah, Spaniard talked about it. He'd done a whole walkthrough there. And that.
Yeah. I was very rough through there, man. They knocked most of it down now.
One of the houses, like, there was one person that's still living there. Next one was a full, just in a unit block. It was just, like, totally trashed and fucked up. So,
oh, dude. Yeah. Man, the amount, there was, murders were frequent there.
Fuck, man.
But you never see it advertised, though. That was the thing that really spun me as a kid, and especially as an adult looking back. Man, that was so newsworthy. There's so many newsworthy things that come out of there, but they never put it on the news. And he goes, at a budget because of the distance of getting out to the west, you go, I don't believe that.
No.
Nah.
I don't believe it's a banter problem.
What happened? So the same thing happened with like Mount Druitt and all those places.
Yeah,
It was
very
a
much so. Yeah.
social experiment. So they were putting cheaper housing for immigrants.
Yeah, it's the
that kind
same.
of stuff. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how that housing emission kind of.
There was actually a town planning model to it. So it would have a park in the middle, and all the houses would face the park, and all the alleyways would come off the park. So the idea was to create citizenship through organised sports, organised religious moments. So and when they were built for mainly Irish people. So
it kind of resembles a lot of like Irish, Scottish kind of vibe. In that,
that's right. Yeah. So it's literally this design is very deliberate.
Like the tenement houses and stuff. Like over in Scotland and
absolutely
same kind of complexes, and that reminds me of it. And
it's the same. That's right. They're the ones that built it.
Yeah.
So they're all the immigrants from that space that built that, right? Of course they built it that way, and of course the designers are that way, and they built it familiar for their people.
Yeah.
And once you get to post Vietnam, so then we started. So if you look back in Australia, right, White Australia policy was 1967. Yeah. So German immigrants and Italian immigrants would be on the fringe.
Yeah.
But when you go post like 1970, 75 and 80, that Irish neighbourhood then turned into a Vietnamese neighbourhood and a Aboriginal neighbourhood and a Lebanese neighbourhood, and it became immediately multicultural.
And it weren't assimilating properly and that kind of stuff.
That's right,
so, because everyone, and that's what you see, because people have language barriers and that
totally.
kind of stuff, and
and psychological problems, man.
Yeah,
so usually people get chucked into that space because something's gone wrong,
like refugees and things as well.
Yeah, people that are refugees and people that are just trying to do well and that's what I'm saying. I think when it went really multicultural, it was a very interesting time for me to be there because I just learnt so much about so many people.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in a place that's quite got to watch your back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why I ended up joining the military, man. I joined the Army Reserves, and that was the circus that I joined to leave town.
Reserve, what corps were you in the reserve?
I was in RAOC, man. They call us a roach.
Yeah, roach.
So roach. So RAAOC. So Royal Australian Ordnance Corps.
Yeah.
So they used to call us blanket counters. So a good joke in the military, they have, what's this, Ross? I go, 5 blankets. Well, the other thing is like, I see, can I have that thing that I need, that water bottle? I go, I don't have any. Well, there's one on the shelf. I go, but that's the only one I got.
No, we used to say acquired. Because I was in the military as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The 5th Combat Engineer Regiment.
That's right, because you were in G-Res at the same time.
Yeah,
and
you were,
because you were like, because I joined in 1997. 97. Got that right.
Would have been 96.
It was last century and last millennia. When I was a teenager. Fuck. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I came out of that space in the 90s. Like, for me, I find it very fortunate. I know that the story I was telling, like, there's a lot of violence and stuff involved in that, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that was involved in that. Cross-cultural understanding, a sample of different languages, sample of different art, fashion, food, like, it's fucking mad, like, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But, you sort of get to, I don't know, this point where, how do I put it, like, you sort of get to this point where you're very thankful for all of that happening.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I love about, like, having a multicultural country is having the food, man. The food's like, you can go to, go anywhere in the world, like anywhere in the world in Australia. You basically, I want to try this. I want to go, that. I love that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was tabbouleh, man. We'd have tabbouleh and bloody Lebanese bread, right?
Yeah.
And I just think we're so lucky because we are the last.
Whoops.
We're the last, right? So you know how to use a dial phone?
Yeah.
You know how to drive a manual?
Yeah. I've got a manual car.
Right?
Still got one. He's got a snatch. He drives a snatchback. At least.
Yeah, snatchback. Like that.
Just a little. It's a little car, mate. Like little girl.
Every time it's, I don't know. Your car gets brought up a lot, and every time it's a snatchback.
I've had a few snatchbacks in my day.
It's good. It's what sort of snatchback? No, but it's good though because it's good on fuel. But that I switched from a Subo
Subo, bro.
Subaru.
Subi.
But that went all right, but it was just fucked. It was full of rats and shit. That's another story.
I think you go back to episode 23. I think we get into Adam's cars.
But I just think we're lucky, man. I think we're lucky because like we got front row seats because we're the last of the analog. We're the last of the last millennia.
Yeah.
You know, like two grandfathers ago, he was riding a fucking horse, bro. Like we're trying to stay off doom scrolling. Like,
I know, it's fucking changed. But then
it's
you
fucking
look,
crazy.
look at our kids, like, and they're just like, they've brought up with this shit, like phones, and
iPads and stuff. I remember my daughter was like 2 years old. I'm going, oh no, actually 1. And I'm going, oh, look, she can use the iPad.
Isn't that so fucking odd? But now it's like, get off the iPad.
Yeah.
Fuck right off the iPad now.
Yeah, but if I go back to Campbelltown, right, and we go back to my childhood, we always had a football. Yeah. We always had a skateboard, a BMX, or we were all on a BMX, or we were all on a skateboard, or we all had a football, a soccer ball, and a basketball. And we would go home when the street lights were on.
Yeah, exactly. Go home when you're
fearless.
Hungry.
Absolutely fearless.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember
unrestricted.
We had like where I lived was all bushland, right? And so I'd be out in the bush, like running through the creeks and stuff, catching carp. And
man.
Okay. He caught a carp and ate it out of Warrington Lake.
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on. I'm just going to introduce this section. Welcome to the old man hour. Lie down, relax, and just get fucking relaxed. Oh, no, fuck that.
Feel the buttery turns of being an old man.
Yeah, you can do that. You know where I was going with it.
The smooth sensation of it all.
Yes. Now lie down. Put your glasses on.
Do you remember?
Crack another beer.
Welcome
Nostalgia.
what was the other one? Welcome to Love Song Dedication. It was a 101.1.
Yeah.
Clone radio. Clone.
Can you do any?
Well, I'm Kip Casper.
Can you do any German accents?
Oh, German. I can. Sie Germans. I can do Sie Germans. It depends what kind of Germans you need. I can do Sie Germans, but it's only in the comical sort of way. Yeah.
That sounds Swedish.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. See, that's the problem with voices, right? You sort of, because I was saying this yesterday. A really big shout out to my Uber driver that got me home last night. That was a fucking heroic drive,
Uber
bro.
drivers.
Heroic, man. I was in the front seat. They're all in the back seat. We were fucking chirping, like, and I was yelling, basically spitting in this man's face, telling him that I was a parrot. And and he's like, "What do you mean?" So then I started I started the American movie guy thing with him last night. That's what was in my head today, you know. And I go,
one Uber driver, one man on the road, alone, putting up with pain, suffering, torture.
and he's just looking at me like, that was pretty good, actually. I go, man, I'm a fucking parrot. But the problem with being a parrot is you do phase sometimes. Like, if you're trying to go for an Irishman, you sort of got to just lean into that like that. It's a bit breathy. It's a bit breathy in there. But then you go really solid and then pinch it in, and then you can arrive to Scottish, but Scottish can easily evolve into the Russian very easily. So it can just phase between these two spaces. Voice characters I really enjoy. I really enjoy doing those. Trump, I'm not going to do Trump today, but I've been working on him. He's hard to work on.
I wish we had.
He's hard work.
We should have brought you out some red pudding and what was the
black
other?
pudding?
Black pudding.
Red pudding. Haggis.
Yeah.
Haggis.
We-
That's right. You tell Jesus, haggis.
We've had some haggis.
Dear Lord,
I
man.
keep saying red pudding because I'm thinking of blood. Okay, well, blood's red, so
Yeah. Well, look, to do a callback though, I got back to so we got through talking about the music industry, right, and all the problems that are in that space, and you lads very well know it. Like I'm not preaching to the choir. Like it was hard space, and they don't celebrate the artist. Get into Made in the West, start celebrating the artist. That because of a fuck up on an audio recorder, I ended up doing an ADR with Pagey Train that gets me into this film, and then 2 years later, she gets the actor that they hired to be a samurai action star gets fired, and she rings me and she goes, "I need an actor that can do action." I said, "Maria, leave it with me. I'll see if I can find somebody." She goes, "No, Ross, I want you to do it." So that's how I ended up in Echo 8.
yeah.
So, to just go, that's the full circle. That's the full circle. So going from, bouncing around. That's why I recommend people being in a band, right? Because you learn so much. And I think that's something, the thing that really spins me up, man, is how many bands do you see on Spotify these days?
Yeah.
Like, fuck all, right?
And this is a thing, like AI is starting to take over a lot of shit
Scary
as well.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm a musician, but I'm fucking cheating as well because like we're using AI to do our promos, like our little videos.
Oh, you do Opus?
Yeah, we use
Opus.
Yeah, we do that for the clips, but then
but for the audio is all done by AI.
like that intro
is it?
song. That intro song was AI.
Is that an AI? Yeah. That's fucking killer for an AI.
We got this one as well, chucking the fuck it bucket song. Yeah. Listen to this.
Chucking the fucking bucket.
Listen to that drum beat.
This is good, man.
AI.
Wow! You bad man in the ground!
Chuck it in the fucking bucket. Let's start again.
Let's start again! That was fun.
Right, so have you got
Fuck yeah, I just rocked out with an AI, man.
So have you got anything to chuck in the fucking bucket right now?
Oh, dude. Fuck, there's so many things. Where do I start?
Maybe AI taking our jobs.
Look, I don't know. AI is a strange one, man. Like I find, you know how you have predictive text on your phone?
Yeah.
Well, that's technically an AI, right?
Yeah.
Like it's figuring out what based off your moves and it knows the language.
It's like the neural link.
Yeah. Like I guess, an AI that it's predictive paragraphs if you want to look at it that way, But so I'm not scared of it that way. But I asked AI to do an image of me based on what I've asked it. What do you think I look like? Dude, it sent me an image that looks very much like me.
Oh, get fucked.
But without the ponytail and without my aesthetic.
That's fucking
right?
crazy.
Yeah, it built me as a businessman. So
bring up the Bert and Ernie, what we look like.
What I want to say is if I'm going to chuck something in the fucking bucket, I'm sorry, Chatty G, but you got it wrong. You got it wrong.
There's a photo of me and Adam as a Sesame Street characters, and it's fucking pretty funny. But it's Bert and Ernie as they are about fucking 80 years old, just on the piss.
Oh yeah,
and it's fucking mad.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Bert and Ernie with liver disease.
Speaking of which, I've got some fucking Guinness.
I
was about to say you're doing a segment here. I can see it. That's why
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, fucking. There we are.
That's why I wanted to get my Echo 8 plug in there really quickly. Just big shout out again. Go and check out Echo 8.
Yeah.
Go and check out Echo 8 on Facebook.
Echo 8. What's Echo 8?
That's the film I was in.
Oh, that's the film.
Yeah, that's the film. Oh, yeah, here we go.
So this is the two Piss Cans podcast. We're on there. That's there.
That just resonates really well, doesn't it?
And I'll tell you what, I've got a mohawk.
Yeah, so that's you and that's me.
Yeah. That's fucking great. That just makes a lot of sense.
Actually, you've got the fucking jacket on. I've got a stripy shirt. You should be wearing
I see your jumpers over there.
But I just love the demeanour.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But that's the
But
podcast.
that's pretty much how my head was after their podcast.
They've been through a lot,
Anyway,
I hate to see after 60 episodes. Like, fuck it.
I said that. I got some Guinness here in the can, right? And this sound, like, it's not an ASMR podcast, but this sound.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you like Guinness?
Yeah. Is that the one? Does it have a ball in it?
Yeah,
the ball bearing?
Yeah, it's got the ball in it.
It's got the gas. It's a gas in it they use.
Yeah. Do you know they did a full study in Guinness about the way that the bubbles go? Because bubbles, you would think, in a viscous material would travel upwards because of buoyancy.
Yeah.
The bubbles in Guinness travel down.
That's why they hold. That's why it's to sit there, bro.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's PhDs that have built out there on that fact.
Listen to this again.
Isn't that crazy? What'd you get? So you got your PhD? Yeah. How long did that take you? I did 9 years of study. It was 120,000 word documents, fully referenced, journal peer reviewed. What was it on? Oh, the direction of bubbles that go in a beer.
How many Guinnesses did you try for that research project?
It took me 9 years.
Did you come across the fact that they paid £1 a year for a 1,000-year fucking?
I heard about this. What's the end of that?
So the guy who created Guinness in fucking whatever it was, he paid $17.59.
Yeah.
£1 a year is his rent on St James's Gate, which is where they fucking that's his rent for 1,000 years. £1. £1. And now they're in the fucking euros. I don't know. It might be €2.
Yeah.
But he's got it for 1,000 years. Yeah.
See, that's when the king needs a quantitative around. That's gone, man. Dude, that's a bad deal. 1,000 years. Think about it. Think about inflation, bro.
17.59. He's fucking. So
cool, look, a pound sounds right to me, really. Like, I'll take a pound. Like, he's got to do it for 1,000 years. That's £1,000. Times 4, you know? Yeah, but inflation, bro. Inflation.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we pay people to fucking study the bubbles in this fucking.
We do, man. Like, there's so many weird studies out there. You can find anything on anything, man. Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a break because I need a piss.
You need a piss? Piss break?
Yeah, piss break.
Yeah, great.
Stay raw, stay fucking reckless, and fucking keep going.
Cheers, cunts.
Thanks, guys. This has been a fucking hoot. I've had such a good time. So much beers. Woo! Woo! Whoa! Yeah! Yeah! What? Ha! What? Yeah! Bringing the heat, bringing in the noise, breaking down barriers, making some noise. Straight from the heart, these brothers ain't playing, they're taking it far. From crazy confessions to stories untold. Raw SOS is unmissable. Come on, join, be part of the crew. Raw SOS is waiting for you. Out of the west, they're here to stay. Tune in, turn it up, let's hit play.
Adam, always
Awesome.